The new era of Identity V is about to begin, and the developers finally recognize that the game is in a very unbalanced state. For more news like this, stick around for another episode of This Week in Identity V. Welcome back to another episode. Today we have a lot of news to talk about because we've got a very important week coming ahead of us. This is probably going to be one of the biggest updates they make to the game overall, and I'm very excited to see what they do, especially for the people who are big lore fans. That I wouldn't say I'm a big lore fan, but I do like the lore overall, and it's always interesting to know, so this is going to be a very big, important week for you people who like that. But before we get into that, we should talk about all the things that we received from last week's update, and we did get quite a lot. Last week we got the lead up to Halloween event because Halloween is just this week and just around the corner. For the Halloween event we got a login daily event where we can unlock fragments, clues and different types of things by logging in every single day. And we could also participate in the story mode and receive, by playing matches, some kind of cakes that you could use to buy skins for Dancer, for Feaster, along with the emotes that we spoke about last week, and a couple of other things as well. By completing the storyline for the event about Samhain and also about this new Phoenix skin, at the end of the storyline you could then collect your chosen portrait. It could be either the Embalmer one or it could be the Phoenix one, but you could only choose one of those two. The game would suggest which one they think would be better for you depending on the storyline that you completed, but you could also choose the one that you like the most. They also reintroduced some of the old skins that from the past Halloween events. They didn't introduce them into the store, they introduced them to the Spyglass store. So make sure you go and check that out before the event finishes. You can get the skin for Sia, the Huntsman skin. You can also get one for Mad Eyes, and you can get an accessory for Bloody Queen. But also in the in-game store, they re-released the S-tier skin for Ripper along with his accessory. I didn't buy that skin, but I did get the accessory because I haven't got any nice accessories except for the Rose Cane for the Ripper, so it was nice to have it, and I really do like the red effects. I should have bought it last year, but I didn't. Something that I guess I wasn't really expecting them to add was the Halloween Spyglass package. They keep on releasing these Spyglass packages and fragment packages and clues packages. I don't know how many people really buy these things. They keep on introducing them every couple of weeks, so somebody must be buying them. Can someone explain to me why you might want to buy these? I'm assuming it's because you get a slightly discounted price on stuff. Something that was in the patch notes that I thought was kind of strange, but I don't really know why they would implement this, is that mobile players can now enable PC matching queues. By activating this on mobile, instead of going to the mobile queues if you're trying to find a match, instead it will put you into the PC queues, so you'll be playing against PC players. And as I understand, I think that disables you from being able to do the mobile queues whilst you've got that PC mode activated. I'm not completely sure why they're doing this. Do they expect mobile players to go to the PC queue matches in the hopes that they will have a longer queue time? I can understand that it might help PC players, but I don't really understand why anyone would want to do that, because it's much faster to get a queue on the mobile version. Moving on to what we can expect from this week's patch, we have a big patch coming with a lot of different things happening, but before we get to the patch, we have on the 27th of October, that is the day before the patch I believe, we have Violinist's Character Day. One of my favorite hunters and one of my mains overall. He is finally getting his birthday, his character day, technically not his birthday, where you'll be able to get his portrait for the first time. That is very nice looking, along with the usual things if you complete the missions, for example the fragments, the clues, all those kind of things. With the new update, we are getting a new skin for Mercenary that was dropped on us kind of very quickly and very randomly. It's a B tier costume called the Black Sheep. It's cool, but also, again, very random. They're just implementing these things very randomly with no real plan as far as I can tell. So it's cool. If you want it, fantastic. And I did say last week that I expected the Embalmer skin to be free, this new S tier, but apparently it's not. You have to buy it from a costume package that comes along with its accessory, I was told that it was supposed to be something that was free, but apparently not. There is some talk about us getting a free S tier something, so I'm not really sure, but that is definitely related, I think, to the next thing that I'm going to talk about, that is the Time of Reunion event that starts on the 28th of October. This is the big change that they've been rumoring and talking about for a very, very long time. They are finally updating the main storyline, possibly continuing the story from, if you guys remember when you first started the tutorial, when the detective came to the manor trying to find a girl. I believe this is where they're going to continue or possibly revamp the story. I'm not completely sure. There are some rumors about us getting an S tier from this event, and I'm pretty sure it's confirmed in some way or another. But I am interested to see what NetEase is going to do with this story. Is this going to lead to some big changes in the game overall? Because this is their chance to completely revamp the game, in my opinion. I am a little bit sad to not see any big changes coming this week in the regards to battle changes. By that I mean adjustments to characters and stuff, but they still have the chance to do that. And right now with this Time of Reunion could be their chance to completely rework the game as a whole. I'm excited to see what this event leads to, and I'm sure that a lot of people are excited too, because this is probably the biggest change that we've had to the game since at least I started playing, so that is very exciting. Now let's talk about some of the rumors, and I want to discuss some things that we got from last week's as well, because the developers finally answered our questions that we asked a couple of weeks ago, and what this means for the future of the game. NetEase has announced in this global Q&A that they did with the global, and they also answered some questions, I believe, for the Chinese players. First of all, they are going to be working on Golden Cave, and they're going to optimize it along with Eversleeping Town. But as far as I understand, it's only for duos. But they are going to possibly bring White Sand Street Asylum into quick matches, possibly rank, so that means that they're going to probably adjust it as well, because that map, I love that map to pieces, and I would love it if they could make it into a viable map for once. One of the questions that we asked was, when are they going to balance the game? To which NetEase said the game is not balanced, and they finally agreed that it's not balanced, but at the same time they said that some tiers, in the low tiers between 1 to 6, hunters have the advantage, and well, technically they didn't say that, but anyway. And in the higher, above 7th tier, hunters have the disadvantage. This information, as I said on one of my streams, make sure that you check those out, because I stream every Thursday and Saturday on YouTube and on Twitch. What they said did not give any context or any information that was really dependable, because they just said that in these tiers it's there's one advantage or the other advantage. Well, technically they didn't even say that there was an advantage. They just said that survivors are winning less compared to what, and also hunters are winning less compared to something else. So I'm not really sure what they are comparing that to, and they didn't say that they are winning more or winning less, and I would disagree with this completely, and I would say that a lot of YouTubers and content creators have also got on with the bandwagon of noticing that this game is completely unbalanced right now, although there are some people who still argue that hunters still have the advantage. I agree that they do have advantage when we're talking about really low tiers, because most of the time hunters are much more powerful than people who don't know what they're doing. But when we're talking about people or players, when we're talking about duo players where people work together, or 4 teams where all 4 players are playing against a hunter, in low tiers, the hunter has barely any chance to do it unless they're playing the top meta hunters. They do agree that that there are some hunters that are very, very powerful, and there are some survivors that are very, very powerful. And they've promised us that they're going to weaken the ones that are more popular, and they're going to give more power to the characters, both survivors and hunters, that are not as popular. What that means, popularity, again, does not mean anything to us, because we don't know which characters are popular and which characters are not, because they don't announce that information. But hey, they did answer our questions, even if it was incredibly vaguely. Now let's start the talk in the manner where I answer some of the comments that you guys left on my recent videos. And a lot of people have been talking about Mad Eyes here. I'm gonna have to pick one of the comments here to discuss, but I've read some of these comments, not all of them. I must say a lot of people do have very similar opinions that Mad Eyes is not strong enough. But here we have Alan Alves saying, since Mad Eyes is so underrated, I'm gonna main him to prove everyone they are wrong. Please do this, guys. please play Mad Eyes. He needs a lot of more players. He doesn't get enough love. He's a incredibly interesting character, very different than the other hunters, and he just doesn't get enough people playing him. And it feels like there have been even less players playing him over time. So the more players that we see play him, the better. And maybe netties will pay some attention to how bad he is right now, but how he could be quite good with a lot of practice. Naro Nari says, I feel sorry for Bane, Smiley, Leo, and Jack, to be honest. The older hunters suffer a lot. Yeah, I agree with this. I would say that, for example, Ripper is relatively popular and not very powerful. Leo, everyone has him at the beginning of the game. That's part of the reason why people don't play him. Smiley and Bane are very exciting characters in my opinion. I've recently kind of rediscovered how much I like playing these characters. So I do think that it's strange that the older characters haven't been buffed as much, because it feels like the older survivors have been completely reworked and changed, and I believe there's one coming for Doctor soon where they're going to rework her as well. So it is weird to see that the old hunters that are still quite popular overall, they haven't really fallen in popularity, I would say, are just not very powerful right now. I hope they can fix that issue. Apothis3 says, IDV who? I only know Horror Brawl. This is a response to my short that I did about Horror Brawl that I tried on my stream. I'm not sure I'll ever play that game again. It was just for some fun and some extra content for you guys, especially on the stream. I think some people enjoyed watching me because it was a bit of fun, but yeah, this is mostly just for the Halloween stuff. Make sure you guys come around to my Halloween stream that I'll be doing this weekend, because I've got some cosplay that I'm going to be playing. Let me just say that buying from AliExpress is a bad idea if you're buying something cheap. You'll see the cosplay and you'll understand exactly what I mean. What do you think is going to happen with this Time of Reunion event that we've got coming up this very week? Do we think that it's going to be a big game-changing thing, or do you think it's a lot of hype for no real reason? Tell me down in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, please like the video and subscribe if you would like to get some more news every single week about Identity V. That is every Tuesday that I do these videos. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.